But something else that's very interesting, Eddie, is that he was actually very rich before becoming a prophet and became poor after becoming a prophet. So that goes against the plan. If he's going to pretend to be a prophet to make money, he should make money, not lose his money. So every way you analyze his life, you see that there was nothing about wealth or love of money.
So we got that one.
So you can X that off the list.
X that out.
So the next one, women. So you might argue, well, someone might argue, well, he wanted women, he pretended to be a prophet because of women, and there you go. But every way you analyze it, you don't see the mark of a womanizer. Because first of all, when he first got married, he was 25 years old. But he married a woman who was 40 years old. She was 15 years older.
She proposed to him, right?
And she proposed to him, excellent. Now, a womanizer doesn't go for older women. They go for younger women. But he married a woman that was 15 years older than him. He stayed married to her for a long period of time, for 15 years, and never married any other wife. So a womanizer, again, you know, if he is making up his own religion, he'll say that I can marry 50 or 100 or no limit. But why did he remain with one woman for 15 years who was older than him? That's not the mark of a womanizer. His second marriage was to Sauda bint Zam'a. Narrations go about her age anywhere from the age 55 as high as 65 years of age. Maybe it's inaccurate, but that's how high the narrations go. So the second wife was about 50 to 50 some years old. Again, that's not how a womanizer behaves. You go younger. You don't go older.
And this is his wife, not mistress.
Exactly.
Girlfriend.
This is his wife.
This is his wife.
Yes. And so every time you start to look at one of the marriages of the Prophet ﷺ, you'll find that some of them had a political, not motive, but like goal or like wisdom behind them. Some of them had social wisdoms behind them. Some of them have religious rulings that were revealed because of these marriages. Some of them were humane, like when he took Sauda radiallahu anha, who was an old woman. She had nowhere else to stay, and he obviously can't just bring her into his home. So he married her. So some of them had humane reasons behind them. So there was always a reason, and it wasn't just that when you look at it, it's not the behavior of someone who's a womanizer.
Can it also be, is it a wisdom here because we see that we have so much information on him, now the people behind the scenes are the wives. So they're narrating his life. Is this also a way now that to get more information? Because
definitely.
And that's the intimate things, the details of all his life that the man can't give his buddies, his companions. Only the women can.
Of course, and they lived with him and they saw him do everything, and so they were able to relate to us the finest details of his life. And by the way, I mean, no matter who you look at and you analyze their life, when you look at it in detail, you start to find flaws. But we have so much detail on the intimate life of the Prophet ﷺ, so if there was a flaw, we'd be able to see it very clearly. You know. And an imposter, certain things would not work out. Like the imposter would not practice what he would preach, right? And we can expound on that a bit more if you'd like.
Let's take a break. They're signaling, and we'll be back on the Deen Show. Back here on the Deen Show, and we're talking about the proofs and evidences, the arguments someone can have, and we listed a few of those: money, women, power, and we knocked out the power. You were talking about the woman. Please continue on.
Yes. So we're saying that when you look at the marriages of the Prophet ﷺ, they don't fit the pattern of someone who is a womanizer. Not from age, not from duration. Because his first marriage, and the correction is that he was married to his first wife for 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. And the womanizer basically doesn't need to stay with one woman for a long time, you know. And I think in our day and age, most people are familiar with how the womanizers operate. So they don't stay with one for a long time.
So you can expound on all of these. It can be a lecture on its own.
Absolutely.
Because we're almost out of time, tell us, because we have a few more that we have to knock out. So this is, and I'm sure anyone who's sincere, who has an open mind, humble heart, he can be like, you know what, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So if you want to go ahead and wrap up on this one, and then we have a few more to cover.
Okay, suppose he wanted power, right? If he wanted power, he'd be demanding power constantly, right? And he would be elevating himself in status in this religion and saying, you know, like, I'm flawless, I don't make mistakes, you need to obey everything that I say. But when you look at the message of the Quran, it actually puts him